If you're in the following states, beware, we have no announcement of backfill benefits from the state itself. Pennsylvania, beware. Texas, beware. Alabama, beware. Kansas, beware. Florida, beware. Alaska, beware. Arkansas, beware. Mississippi, beware. Nebraska, beware. Paul on the line to give us some commentary.
Where this is going with the EBT and the SNAP benefits being taken away from people. I've heard various stories of already stores being looted back on the East Coast. Unverifiable, but I see it happening. Also, I've heard from two different sources that Walmart was closing yesterday. No, was not going to close yesterday. Now they're going to close today. I think it's on the individual store type basis. And they are ready, but I do not think, or the employees are told not to engage in stopping people, because that's where they're putting themselves at risk. And anything can happen. The old saying we know is, desperate people will do desperate things.
Well, you know what I was thinking there, Paul?
So it's going to be a ironic, though, how it happens, like right around Halloween, one of those kind of borderline satanic holidays, and you have this unpredictable factors coming in right now.
Well, one, I disagree. It's a satanic holiday. It's a celebration of the saints, Christian holiday, actually. Christian with a little bit of pagan tradition from the Western society. It's evolved over the centuries. Another thing I was thinking is the SNAP benefits and food stamps have increased dramatically in the last 5 years or so, and this causes grocery prices to increase. If the government is increasing the benefits for people spending on groceries, the grocery stores increase their price. So not only are you paying for the SNAP benefits for people who need them, but also it causes your grocery prices to inflate.
This is really a double-edged sword because of these SNAP benefits, the little stores are going to be hurting really bad. They're going to lose apparently 40% of their business if this goes down. So they're not going to have people coming in. It's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt. It's going to affect everybody. I don't care who you are. You're going to be affected in some level or another. Even the poor farmers who are, have such small margins to make a profit, this is going to hurt them. We've been sitting on soybeans for a couple of months, but I think Trump just put a deal together where China's going to buy all the soybeans we have now because we were just letting it sit there. And what does that have to do with the EBT? Well, again, it's all connected, all related to food, and food is the key to, to survival. You got to have it. So I'm hoping that these people who are threatening everybody on the internet are going to go through with their threats, because that just pushes more fear into everybody.
Well, I think they will. I think they will. Also, I think many states are stepping up and going to dip into some funds from other places to help out with the SNAP benefits, and that's a good thing to help curb the civil unrest that I think would happen from the food stamp SNAP beneficiaries.
I kind of agree with that, and I also see another side of it, that there's just not enough people to step up. I've heard that the city of San Francisco is going to, for the whole month of November, honor everybody's SNAP and EBT cards and the benefits, and that's very, very kind of the supervisors and Mayor Lurie to do that. So I think San Francisco will be relatively safe because they're going to honor their cards out of the funds that they have. I didn't know San Francisco had such a surplus. I didn't know that. A lot of cities and counties are in deficit, but San Francisco is a pretty strong city in general.
Well, I think in a way we should reevaluate the SNAP food stamp benefit qualifications, Maybe have drug testing. Some people have thrown that idea out there, or, because people are upset that they feel they have to pay SNAP food benefits for people who are causing harm to the society. And they think that if there's 40 million people receiving these benefits, realistically, how many people do you think are actually going to starve to death?
It's a lot worse than we think. It's, I go tell these people to get a job. You look, I don't know how many are going to starve to death, but I do know this. Look at Amazon's laying off 30,000 people. People are trying to get jobs, and jobs are a hard thing to get right now. And you're talking to, a lot of people are like well-educated, overqualified, and, they're willing to work for 50 to 20 bucks an hour sometimes just to have some money coming in. So if you have some people who've been living on the government's shoulders the last 2-3 years, maybe more than that, many years, they're not qualified, and they're not going to be able to get hired unless they have some special training or somebody wants to do an act of mercy and hire these people. But as an employer or an owner of a business, you want the most qualified people to represent you. And these people aren't that type of, they're not qualified. They don't have the desire. They don't have the get up and go that a lot of companies require to be, lean and mean in this challenging economy. You gotta make it.
When I first got married, I was making $36,000 a year. We worked together, and we didn't starve to get to death. It was difficult. We weren't receiving food stamps, and I think many people could benefit from evaluating their own food grocery shopping list. You might have to think of new ways to fill your menu. You can buy rice, beans, meat, rather than boxes of crackers, cereal, potato chips, etc. But now not everybody has the ability to do that, calculate pennies for calories, etc. And I understand that.
I'm sorry. Well, you're able to do something, and very few people have this ability. That's the ability to enforce your own personal discipline and stay focused and not go out of the comfort zone. You know what's realistic, and having discipline enables you to be able to work with your plan and make it on a small amount of money. A lot of people don't have that discipline.
I agree with you.
They're so used to having it easy.
I agree with you. I heard somebody say, who was a survivalist expert, is that when it hits the fan, many people will starve to death, not because there's not food available, but because there's not food available that they like. Do you think the government's going to reopen up, or do you think we're going to go into chaos?
Okay, well, here comes my conspiracy way of thinking. I think they can sell this thing anytime. I don't think they want to. I think they have a backup plan, and I think they want to more or less destroy our American way of life, and this is the perfect storm for doing it. This is how you could, if it takes off and goes really, really south quickly, then the public and the people are going to demand something happen. And this is how they can implement their plan, wherever it may be.
Well, I don't know. Why wouldn't they have just done this before then?
And that's where they're able to get what they want.
If it's a conspiracy, why wouldn't they have just done this before?
I don't think to this level.
Exactly.
With the advent of AI coming into play, it's taken so many jobs away, other outside influences, and people want to be saved. But, sometimes going back to a different type of time where people would look out for each other, people did get value. Nothing was for free. You had to work for it. You bring that back, and you have a solid society. You have to do things yourself. You have to connect with people who are going to be on the same team or the same mindset you have. But I do think, as I mentioned earlier, that there are other powers in the background who are going to benefit from this. The old saying, never let a good crisis go to waste, could apply here.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, nearly 42 million Americans rely on SNAP benefits. Without new payments, many low-income households face the risk of being unable to purchase groceries as of the first week of November, starting tomorrow. States and food banks have already mobilized emergency support, like Virginia. They've founded the VENA program to help out. Maryland also declared emergency status and allocated $10 million for food banks. Michigan committed $4.5 million to food banks to fill the gap. Many states are stepping in, many states are not. If you have unused balance on your EBT card, new update is you can continue to use them in authorized stores. But if you're expecting your November benefits issuance, it may not arrive until federal funding resumes. Some states recommend recipients plan ahead, using existence fund for essentials and check local food pantry support. Prepare. The freeze may or may not be retroactive once resolved. There is no guarantee benefits will be paid later unless the shutdown ends. Legal action is underway. A federal judge has indicted that the administrator refusal to use contingency funds for SNAP may be unlawful, which could force partial payments. Congress should still act to reopen federal funding. If so, benefits may resume or be retroactive. States may continue to step in with emergency programs, but capacity will vary widely by state. According to my research, many states have not announced that they will help out in the event of a closure of the SNAP EBT benefits. Such states as Alabama, Texas, Kansas, Florida, Nevada, North Dakota, and Alaska. If you live in these states, you need to prepare in the event of your food benefit program being canceled. Now, it's important to remember that not acting doesn't necessarily mean no support at all. It may mean the state has not publicly announced a full state-funded alternative, or the plan is still under development. There is hope. Some states have indicated limited support, such as for only certain vulnerable groups, children, seniors, disabled, even if they're not filling the full benefit gap. For example, in Louisiana, a state of emergency order covers children, elderly, and the disabled, but not all SNAP benefit households. Federal system constraints. Many states report that because the federal United States Department of Agriculture oversees SNAP, vendor payment infrastructure, and directed states not to issue new benefits without federal funding. It's legally, technically difficult for states to simply replace the program on their own. For legal purposes, many states cannot do this. Many states are stepping up to help out. Louisiana's going to step up. New Mexico is going to step up with $30 million in emergency food assistance. Vermont approved $6.3 million for 15 days of SNAP. New York declared a state of emergency and allocated $65 million to the food banks. California, through its fully replaceable SNAP announcement, deployed of National Guard state of emergency funds to support the food banks. Virginia declared a state of emergency and said it would draw surplus funds to cover at least a month of assistance.